My name is Janet Gillespie, and I work at the University Hospital in Birmingham, and I'm a radiological technologist. I had a mom and a dad growing up, and my father used to drink a lot, and my mother used to fuss a lot at him about his drinking. But I had a good childhood as far as, no abuse, no neglect. Meals were on the table. Mother helped with homework. She was a housewife. My daddy worked hard every night and handed my mother the paycheck, but he, got an allowance to drink. And so growing up, I sort of felt like I was a little lost, not knowing my dad really, because he was either drunk or at work or in the bed. And my mother was a co-addict or codependent, trying to work. She was worrying herself to death about his drinking and us losing our home. What would she do to support us? She didn't have a high school education, so I guess I felt lost and sort of, what do I do in this picture? Well, it took years and years passed before I became homeless. I did graduate college. I took a GED, went to college, and so forth, and had good jobs here in Birmingham as an x-ray tech. But I got introduced, or I wouldn't say anybody introduced me, I made the choice of trying more and more drugs besides that marijuana at 13, which led to me snorting cocaine and then learning to cook it up into crack. And that just took me on a spiral down over a period of time, and that's all I wanted. So eventually, calling in, work a lot, missing work, leaving early, coming in late, it became my whole life, the crack cocaine, and I just quit my job. And then once your money's gone and you're not paying your bills because of your addiction, I became homeless and was on the streets panhandling. In the beginning, I panhandled and begged and act like I was out of gas, or my husband left me and I needed to pay our rent or something. It was just a bunch of lies. And then that played out, and people start recognizing you if you're out of gas every other day in the same little neighborhood of town. And so I became a prostitute and living here and there or wherever I could get in for the night, and sometimes on the street. I was out there for about 10 years, homeless, and sometimes I'd walk the neighborhood, hoping I'd get a date or somebody would stop and want me that night or that day, and I would never thought about food unless I couldn't get high or drunk. And that's when I would go through people's garbages or steal something out of a CVS or Piggly Wiggly nearby. And health care, no such a thing. Like I said, when I was out there, I was a prostitute for my dope, and my teeth got bad. A lot of parts of my body, fighting and broke noses. I would never go to the dentist or see a doctor, and my health really went down. But if you stayed high or drunk, you didn't really realize it. So I never took care of myself. On the delivery table, when God spoke to my heart, when I was having another baby, I heard his voice speak to my heart. But I also realized through him that day, Jesus Christ on that table, that I could do this. I could do this with him. A healthy baby come out that had never had a prenatal vitamin, that I never went to a doctor visit. She was 7 pounds, 12 ounces. She had crack and alcohol in her body, but she didn't have to detox. And that helped, that when I cried out on that table to the people in the room that I needed help, I was an addict. That was the very beginning, is admitting what I was and what I had become. And then the help was there through a social worker and United Way. The beginning was a social worker that came to me at Cooper Green, and she arranged for me to go to treatment because I had admitted that on the delivery table, and she took me to Olivia House, and it was was the first women's center for women and children that was ever founded here in Alabama. While in that program, Pathways was calling shelters like First Light and the YMCA Salvation Army, and Olivia House was on their list, and they were offering a job readiness program for some of the women. Well, I got chosen as one. I was afraid to go. I had been in treatment 6 months, and I just was afraid to venture out, besides a doctor appointment. So I passed that by, and then it came back around 6 months later, and I took that opportunity. Pathways, I went to their job readiness program. Now, they don't get you a job, but they help you prepare. They give you the confidence and the self-esteem, and give you like a dress for success and mock interviews. Because after 10 years on that street, I didn't have any social skills. I didn't know what to put down on a resume, let alone, how to start one. It seemed like a lot of years besides 10 had passed by, and I lost a lot of myself in those years, and they helped me build confidence and self-esteem. And so from that program, I graduated my treatment, and then Pathways had some apartments in Woodlawn and some on Cotton Avenue, and I got one of those on Cotton Avenue. That was my very first home, and it was based on my income. I got my foot back in the door at UAB, and was working full-time, but as an X-ray student slot case manager. I worked on building my credit, paying off old bills. They come to haunt you when you get that first job and your Social Security number's back in that system. I got bills I forgot about. I just rebuilt little by little. And then I finally, after a year and a half, got my very own apartment. The most important one is that I kept that baby girl, and she just graduated high school. She's starting UAB. I'm just so proud of her, and that's a big accomplishment. But just not being out there on that street, when I drive to work or I drive home or I see something on the news, it's like yesterday that was me. When I see somebody homeless or people falling on hard times, it's not gone from my mind. If you're ready and you're willing, you can change. You don't have to stay out there. You don't have to take the abuse or the pimp beating you or the addiction that you can't let go of. I never dreamed I could stop smoking crack cocaine. I never dreamed I'd get my X-ray job back, and let alone get to keep a child and be a mom, and finally at 42. And so those dreams come true, those little faint hopes that we have. I'm very thankful that I have this new life, and getting my X-ray license back through Pathways, through them helping me with books and studying, and me getting up at 3 a.m. studying before I came to work. And Child Care Resources had helped me with child care while I got my feet back in the door here. And all of the programs out there that helped me buy my first home. It's the simple things like that. And smelling coffee in the morning, from my little coffee maker, and getting to help other people, coming in every day at UAB. I got Employee of the Year, and I just got the Excellence Award, and little letters, from an attendant. And, I still think, am I dreaming? I didn't have this life that I have now before I started using drugs. And I know it's because of my faith in God, and I know it's because of all the help that I received to help me believe I could, I can, and I will. And so I'm thankful for everything life has given me.